All right, look at that. It's 12:33 and we're recording. There are going to be some other people that are going to get the recording after the fact that are not on. So, I mean, accommodating everybody. So thank you all for being here. My name is Rebecca Roseberry. I think we all know who I am. I've been practicing energy medicine as a holistic healer since God knows when. I mean, I was first introduced to muscle testing and I was probably 20. And I worked for a chiropractor in Staten Island. Can't think of her name, but I was her nutrition assistant, and I was going to Hunter College for my 4-year degree in nutrition. So that's how long this stuff has been going on. Hold on, I got to get rid of this. So thank you all for being here. And what we want to focus on primarily, what I want to give you the tools for yourself, because personally, so here's my hang up with being a healer. I find it, I do not want to create dependency, right? If I can empower you, I mean, to me, health is about power. So if you are empowered with the tools to heal yourself, and I don't necessarily have to be in that mix, I think that's a win-win. I try to do as much as I can for myself on my own, and I think it's ideal. That's a goal. A personal goal is self-empowerment is, and yes, sometimes we need to ask for help, but essentially it would be nice if we had some more tools in our toolbox for every day, so you don't need to call me about this or that. And not that that's a bad thing, but I'd like you to be empowered. Okay, good. So so all of you have a different level of experience that I'd like to just take a second and introduce everybody that's on. We'll start with Andy. I'm not going to put the camera on you if that's okay.
That's fine.
Andy, say hi to everyone online, and if you want to just say your background.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Andy Silver. I moved from Charlotte, North Carolina, where I've been living for decades, to Charlotte, near the beach. About a year ago, I worked as in 2 different capacities, as a mediator and doing hypnosis. It's good to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. And have you ever done muscle testing before?
Not as a practitioner, but I've had it done.
You had it received. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Kathy, I'm just going to pick on you if you want to just share your background.
Well, I learned most of what I know from you, Becky.
Oh, okay, great.
Yes. So yeah, my background. Wow. Well, I live on Oak Island now, born and raised in Chicago, and I've gotten more away from what is supposedly called modern medicine.
Yeah.
Because of my dissatisfaction with it. And with a knowing within me that there's more to it than them.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And that let's see, I'm more in touch with my own spirit and my own self and my own healing and the universe. So thank you.
And thank you, because that's exactly what I want everyone to experience for themselves, right? That's the self-empowerment piece. That's awesome. So do you practice muscle testing at all?
Yes, I do. And as a matter of fact, when I got your invitation for this class that I had already been doing some that day, I don't remember what choice I was making, but I used the body pendulum.
Good.
For yes and no, like, oh, do I go this way? Even when I'm driving, which way do I want to turn, left or right? And I get direction.
Right. Excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you. Let me let's talk to Simone. If Simone could unmute and share, like, what basically share what you'd like to get out of today and what your experience is with muscle testing, that sort of thing. Simone. Maybe she doesn't want to share. All right, let's talk to Janine.
Hey, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hi, Janine.
Wonderful. Hello. So just like Kathy, Rebecca had introduced me to all of this, and I learned muscle testing through her and through a network that we knew up here in Connecticut. I do various forms, including pendulum, finger in an O, snapping my fingers, and standing with my eyes closed and either frontwards or backwards. But I don't have I don't feel confident in my answers, and I don't feel I'm approaching it correctly. So I'm hoping to learn better technique and just to build my self-awareness and confidence and when I do my own muscle testing.
Yes, awesome. Okay, great. All right, we will give you that confidence one way or another today.
Mhm.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'm wondering, is Simone, does she want to share or no? I'm wondering. Let me see. There's no chat. I don't know if she can hear me or what. I don't know. Maybe there's something up with her audio. But all right, so we're just gonna move on. And if there's any issues, just Simone, just put it in the chat if there's something I can help you with. But anyway, okay, so I'm gonna start to channel, and I'm gonna start to, what all that means is I'm gonna plug myself in and maybe slow down my speech and maybe give you more truth for a reason. So I'll explain what that means. So the muscle testing was first, I think, came about by Dr. George Goodhart in the 1960s. And I believe he was a chiropractor also. This, many chiropractors are drawn to this work. The muscle testing you can use for anything, but the two modalities that I'm certified in were taught by and developed by chiropractors. My audio and screen are not working, she says. Hold on. My audio and screen are not working, but I can see and hear you. Okay, well that's fine too. All right, at least you can hear me, and then I'll answer whatever I can afterwards. Audio and screen, that's got to be a computer thing on your end. Okay, thank you, Simone, and thank you for being here. So muscle testing, the reason why I love muscle testing, and I have my cheat sheet over there, but I want to channel this more, but muscle testing is really about, and here's the thing, this is about tapping into universal the unconscious mind. It's the non-physical, it's the unmanifest, right? So I see it as a blueprint, as the energy potential, the energy that we cannot see that helps to influence the physical realm that we live in. So I prefer, and I'll tell you the reason why I prefer muscle testing over what the world says, from conventional medicine, is because we're tapping into the very essence of our being and our divinity. And I can't see any more depth of source of truth than that. Okay. So we are all, as human beings, fallible by nature, right? And I prefer to get to the source, right? Our source, the truth, the power that we are. That is our vitality, and that is our health. That is our power. Okay. So why not tap into that energy source, get direct information, get innate information of our, higher intelligence, rather than going to, I hate to say it, but it's going to come out of my mouth, moron. It is coming out of my mouth. Why? Because unfortunately, if you want to study conventional medicine, you're really looking at, if you look at the history of conventional medicine, you're looking at, unfortunately, the Rockefellers just wiping out holistic medicine and making each medical doctor basically brainwashed into believing that surgery and synthetic chemicals are going to heal the body. They can't. They can't. So unless you need some type of damage control emergency, help, don't bother. Okay. So the body, when you give the body what it needs, it will heal itself. It is like, to me, the Holy Grail, our temple that houses our body is the temple of our soul and our spirit. I prefer to go to the source. Okay. And that's why I muscle test. So I could tell you story after story. You're welcome to look at my book. We can share at a later point, but there's like miraculous after miraculous when you tap into the non-physical realm, into the ethers for information. I'll just give you a brief story that was a lot of fun for me. That when I was going to the University of Bridgeport, and one of my teachers there in one of my nutrition classes ended up being one of my patients later on. And that was strange enough in itself, right? My teacher is now coming in for help. Okay, that's a mind blow for me. Okay, and we, established an amazing rapport. He's, just on the same page. Love him, right? Then I moved to Florida. And we were chatting. I don't know. He pulled me up, I guess, for help, and he said, I had a heart attack. And right away, me and the way that I am, I went right into the 4 chambers of the heart in my mind. I wasn't telling him that. Boom, 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 muscle testing, and sure enough, he told me the chamber where the blockage or whatever the attack originated, and I already knew. I could see it. So that's freaking amazing. No x-rays, no CAT scans, no cardiogram, no nothing, right? Just hanging out, talking to a guy in another state, and boom, know exactly what's going on. And then I could then advise him for nutritional help, support, whatever was coming through me, and what comes through me in sessions is for that person in that moment. And it's, to me, higher vibration, higher truth. How do you argue with that? You're going to waste time going into a waiting room, spending a lot of money and being aggravated, etc. And for what? For what? So they could tell you the same thing that I just told you. Why? So anyway, so this is my passion, and I want other people to have this ability, as to the best of their ability, to the best of their desire and karmic, whatever they're karmically here for. I'd like them to reach that potential if it means having this ability, because then we can wipe out conventional medicine and be in a place of higher truth and integrity. Integrity brings me to, so Janine, this is where, just jumping around, this is where, when you talk about confidence, the first thing that you want to have is integrity. Now, what the hell does that mean? It's almost condescending, right? What do I need to get integrity? So I didn't do this quick enough, and if you want to pull this up as we're talking or look at it later, I'm referencing the map of consciousness. Okay. And I don't have shoot. Let me see if I can grab a book real quick.
Becky, I might do that for you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I got Power versus Force. I'm not sure if he prints it in Power versus Force. So without taking time away, no, it's not in here. So Janine, this might be a good tool. So it sounds like if you're looking for better knowing and better clarity as a conduit, I would have menus. I would have a menu, and one of those menus could be the map of consciousness, because we really do need to double check ourselves. And this is a great point that is coming up. I'm guilty of that too. Is, is what I'm getting the truth, right? There's always that question. Well, we'll narrow down, and this is specific to self-testing, mind you. Okay. Thank you, Kathy. This is specific to self-testing. This is not specific to testing another person. That doesn't that doesn't apply. It's when you're testing yourself and it's like, oh my God, now I really have to trust this answer here. I really have to be accountable for myself here. There's no other witness. It's like, is this the truth? When you go into self-doubt and oh yeah, right? So meditating will help, but having a menu will help. And a menu is just have it pre-written down on a piece of paper, or write down your option A, option B, option C, write it down and muscle test each one. Okay. All right. I'm going to get a sip of water. Closer. So integrity is, the reason why integrity is so important is because in order to do this work, here are the things when it comes to self-testing. Yes, with you testing somebody else, but self-testing. Because again, you have that extra accountability, like, oh my God, it's me and me. So here we go. When it comes to integrity, you have to want the answer and not what your ego wants. You have to want absolute truth, higher consciousness, divinity, whatever you want to call it. You want that truth. You do not want your ego's truth, okay? Because they will be different. You want pure divine truth. So when you're testing, you must make sure that your intentions are pure. Don't you love that? Pure nutrition. You have to have pure intentions. You have to have surrender the attachment to the outcome. Basic, right? Basic. Like, ask the question, and I'm catching myself. Please don't do this, even though it's coming out of my mouth. Don't pose a question, pose a statement. So you always create a statement as if it's present tense, right? As close to present tense and as close to simplicity as possible. So for instance, instead of asking, do I need blah, blah, blah? Instead say, my body needs blah, blah, blah. And that's not even an accurate statement, depending on how you're programmed, which is a whole other topic. So, but again, just for simplicity's sake, because we're all at different levels of experience here, create a statement and then test the statement, not a question. Okay, we'll just in simple terms. Integrity is based on Hawkins. Now, this is the work of Dr. David Hawkins. Everyone knows that I love him to pieces because he's a teacher of divine truth. And that's all that, has power, right? The higher the truth, the higher the power. The higher the power, the higher the health. So integrity, when you look at on his map, if you don't have it in front of you, I'll just highlight it. He determined through muscle testing, he created the map. It's an arbitrary map that he determined through muscle testing. It's his creation. And what he learned is that if you're operating from a place of shame, the energy that you're giving yourself, he could calibrate is 20. Okay. Now, just to give you another example, on the other end of the spectrum, Jesus calibrated at 1,000. And from what Dr. Hawkins research is that that is our highest capacity to attain in the physical human form. We can't get any higher. Angels can be higher, and I forget they may be 50,000 or but that's this is our potential is 1,000 in this lifetime, right? And what that means is our consciousness can be that God realization that we have that much power. But shame is on the other end of the spectrum. Okay, so you can't accurately test yourself or someone else in theory, right? And I say in theory because I'm just giving you the meat here, and then I don't want to make an absolute statement. Okay, shame is low vibration, low energy. You don't have a lot to work with. Okay, then above that is guilt. Then I think there's anger and fear. There's pride. All low energies are all below 200. If you're going to test yourself or somebody else, my suggestion is to be at 200 or to up until 1,000, right? That's your barometer. That's where you want to place yourself. And you can know that by using the map of consciousness and muscle testing the map of consciousness. Okay. I know that's a lot. I know, I'm sure Simone has probably got smoke coming out, like, what do you, because I know her experience level and I know Janine's experience level. So I know it's very different, but so I don't want to overwhelm anybody, and I'm happy to help you wherever you are. Lastly, when you're doing this type of work, you must be well hydrated. If you notice, when I put in the email, I didn't give you the email because you were coming in person, but it was basically, you know, here's the Zoom information and make sure you're hydrated, okay? Because of that conductivity. You're not going to test well. You're not going to be able to get an accurate test with somebody if either one is dehydrated, okay? So those are kind of the things to look for. Now, he also teaches, if you know, you definitely, if this is something that you want to dive into, read his books, Dr. David Hawkins, because he'll get into, you know, don't have music on. I purposely did not have music on because that will influence the field and give us different information. So I didn't want to do that. Normally I would have had background music on, things like that. But again, you're looking for the pure yes or no. And that's what muscle testing gives you. It gives you yes or no, or just like when you think about heat and cold, how one is just the absence of the other. And like love, the spectrum of love, hate is the absence of love, right? It's not an opposite. It's just the absence of. The more love that you have, the better tester you're going to be. So what I would suggest, Janine, is, and again, I don't mean to sound condescending or arrogant, but because this is what I do. I'll tell you what I do. Get right with God. You're going to ask a big question. You're like, I better, you know, this better be the right, you know, like so much is weighing on. Get right with God, meaning ask for forgiveness. That's what I would do. I would hydrate, ask for forgiveness, release all attachments, surrender all attachments, surrender to the outcome. And then what I do is I say I am aware, or I'll say the word awareness 3 times. Why do I do that? Because we want to be aware. That was something that I learned in TBM. We always started out with awareness for the patient. And as a practitioner, you want to be aware. I'm not going to talk more about that because I don't feel comfortable talking about all of that. And I don't think it's necessary to the class. But that's what I do. I affirm my awareness, and then I'll go in and ask the question. So at this point, do you have any? Not yet. Okay, but they're brewing.
They're brewing.
Does anyone have any questions so far?
Not yet. Thank you.
Not yet. Okay. All right. Another sip of water. Let's see on my cheat sheets here. Okay, so we're muscle testing for, or energy testing for the truth of something. And when it comes to, there's different forms, and Janine mentioned a few, and let's go over them. And if you wouldn't mind, let's do some experiential work right now. If you can stand, that would be great, because I want to teach the body pendulum. I think it's the easiest one to start with. So let's just get into that space of alignment. We're looking for absolute truth. We're surrendering. We're detaching from our egos and the outcomes. We are hydrated. We are in alignment, right? All those, you know, do that kind of centering. Want to put your book down? Okay. So I will stand straight here. So this is just for your experience. Just state your name. My name is. And then see which direction your body goes in, forward or back. We're just playing. There's no right or wrong here. Meaning I could have done something more standard, but hopefully my name is Rebecca and my body goes forward. Okay, how do you think?
Forward.
Good, good. So let's play around now. Let's make a statement that is completely false. My name is Simon. My body should go back, right?
Ishmael, my name goes back.
Good, good. So so hopefully you guys had similar experience, that this is the beginning of body pendulum is one way to do it for people. The way that I'm going to teach next is more specific, is more technical, but let's do another one. I want to tap into what I didn't mention. John Diamond brought to the holistic world more of bringing in kinesiology or muscle testing, and connecting emotion with disease or symptoms. So I just want to acknowledge him, that he's still alive. I'm on his. I think he lives in Connecticut. My mom met his wife, and I have some of his books, and I think I'm on his mailing list. So he's just but I will say that part of the reason, just a sidebar, part of the reason why I've been hesitating to teach as a teacher for so long is because when it comes, here's the interesting piece, that what conventional medicine should offer as a comparison is that when you're working with practitioners, if you had 10 practitioners in a room, you're going to get a lot of similarities, but a lot of differences. You're going to get, because you're having a different consciousness level, a different toolbox, a different experience altogether. So it can start to get confusing. So it's best to stick with a small handful of people to work with that resonate with you, because you may not get that black or white answer that you're looking for. Because, if you haven't checked, we're not black and white, and we're not linear, So that's the negative to it. So when I had John Diamond's book and I was reviewing it for the class last night, I'm like, I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this. Those aren't my findings. And it could be, his viewpoint, my viewpoint. And so that's where I've been reluctant to teach, is that I can only teach from where I am, right? Okay. So let's do something emotional. Let's think about a positive emotional experience that we've had and see if our body goes forward or back. Okay, like a vacation or a good time, Good, good. All right. So you're calibrating. This is like how you calibrate yourself, right? Now let's pick a negative experience, and our bodies should go backwards, right? All right, let's try that. Yeah, good. All right, so you're testable. You're doing good. So when you get those yeses that should be a yes, when you get those no's that should be a no, then it's like, okay, then you can ask a more specific question and feel confident about it, right? It's like, oh, okay, I am on. Yeah, okay, have a seat. I hope you guys had all similar experiences. If your body did something opposite, then please let me know now.
No, I didn't have any forward, but I had backwards. So my yeses, I didn't really notice any shift, but when I was doing a negative, I definitely went backwards.
All right, Janine, that's fascinating. Let me see what's going on with you. Okay. All right. What is going on with Janine, that her body, maybe that's how you are, or is there this having to do with the confidence thing? Oh, okay. All right, sidebar, okay? This has to do with you feeling like you're not going forward in life. So I would do some EFT, even though I feel like I'm not going forward in life. I love and accept myself now, go through the points. See if your body will start to calibrate forward. All right, I don't want to take up too much time, but
That makes sense though, so thank you.
Good, 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 good. All right. Yeah, because I can see going forward now, just once you work through that. All right. Next type of muscle testing. Now, I will point out that I want you to think of muscle testing like we think of exercise. When an athlete works out, they are only as good as their efforts in that moment, meaning it's not like something that you can build like a savings account that you never touch that will always be there. It's something that has to continue to work. I just want to point that out. You know, the you that you were 20 years ago is not the you that you are now, and it's not going to be the you that you are 20 years forward. So this is something that you want to keep like working out. It will deteriorate. I feel it will deteriorate if you don't have the conscious desire to keep it going. Right? And
Just like a garden,
yeah,
it has to be watered.
yeah, exactly, like a garden. Yeah, like you have to tend to it. I would tend to it. Like it should, if you really want to get into this, let it be a part of your life, and you're gonna get out what you put in, right? That's the best way to put it. So, all right. So let me look at, so another type of muscle testing way, right, is like Janine said, you could say put your finger in that position, take another finger, and test it with an opposing finger, like decide what your yes and your no is, but you can do it this way. So let's say, hold on. So my name is Rebecca. That's a yes. My name is Simon. That's a no, right? It went through. That's a weak muscle response. And you can reverse your intention, and I could totally reverse this. I could tell myself, okay, not opening the fingers is a no instead of a yes. Right now I don't want to reprogram myself. I just want to give you that option. I like the response I got. I don't want to.
Can you ask the question, is this my yes, this is my no?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
But put it in a statement, not a question. Say, this is my yes, this is my no. The reason why I like body pendulum is it gives me an option if there is a maybe, if I made a statement that I need to clarify, my body will go side to side. So where I need to change my statement, get more clear about it, ask a different question, I will go side to side. But you don't get that from using your finger. So you feel comfortable with your yes and your no there? Okay. Good. And then what I do for my appointments and have been for well over 10 years, probably 15 years, is this test, right? You've seen me do this. I'm going to hold it from this way. So this would be the patient's arm. This is the practitioner pressing down. Okay.
Oh.
Pressing down.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So decide what your yes, get comfortable. This is a little more tricky. Figure out what your yes is, what your no is. Huh? Isn't that fun?
There.
Which car should I buy? Nobody needs to know.
The privacy of your purse or your pocket.
Yes, like, excuse me, what are your muscle test? Right? So nobody has to know. It's wonderful. I do that in the supermarket. This one. Now, it's still based on whatever intention, the way that I'm programmed, meaning I'm looking for affordability, I'm looking for high quality, I'm looking for, those would be the biggies, right? But you can have different intentions when you're buying something in the store. It could be, is this company, in integrity with my beliefs, right? I mean, it goes on, and this is how you program yourself. So it all depends. So get clear about what your intention is. That's important when you're testing. So I've given you three. I think, I'm trying to think if I'm sure there's another one, but now when one of the things that really wowed me, which I like to reference, but I'm just going to share with you quickly a surrogate situation, right? I don't feel like getting into that story, but a surrogate situation is, let's say you have an infant that you can't obviously muscle test. You have the infant on the mom's lap, and then you can check the mom's arm. You could do that. You could not use the mom's arm, but I'm giving you that option. When you test that, I think you want to muscle test me as a separate person, as a separate test. That's another way. If you want to test your spouse, I wouldn't recommend it because they're very resistant. They're very resistant. Don't bother. Confidence will go down in the toilet. Don't do it.
So Becky,
Yes.
so then, I think you're saying also with regard to testing other people, you get their permission first? Like if I were to, I wouldn't muscle test like my husband unless I got his permission.
Well, there's verbal and nonverbal. There's his
Oh.
higher self permission and his egoic and his human permission. Those are two separate. It really depends on what you're looking at. I have permission to work in the ethers for my husband because he would rather that I just make him all better and he doesn't have to do anything. So it depends on the situation. So for instance, if I wanted to pray for someone that I don't even know on the other side of the world, because that's essentially what we're doing is we're praying for them. My higher self will go to their higher self and I'll say, can I have your permission? Most of the time it's a yes. It's a yes. Very few times it's a no. Who doesn't want to receive, that's twisted. I don't want to receive help.
But
I'm
the
like,
formality is.
yeah.
It's fear, I think, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, there would be time, see, so Carolyn Mace would be adamant about not letting anyone into her sacred space, her sacred essence. That would be her stance on that. I know that. So she would not want anyone poking at her, so to speak. That's her right.
So it's just,
yeah.
so it could be just like, for myself as a medium, I just wouldn't go up to someone in a bakery and start giving them a reading without getting their permission.
Definitely. That's a boundary thing for sure.
Right.
But let's say you met someone at the bakery and then you went home and you said, oh, let me work my magic in the spiritual realm, right?
Mhm.
That would maybe be different. But yeah, you're right. I would definitely ask somebody just off the cuff.
The only people that really have blanket permission are people that work in alterations. Why did I say that? Because they understand all the That's a joke.
And I didn't even get it. Thank you. Like, what are you talking about? All right. So let's see. So the surrogate, I'm trying to think. Janine, are you comfortable testing somebody else's arm?
Oh, yeah, I think so. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
Because when I was just learning this and testing people, using their arm, it took me a year to feel confident. And now I wasn't just doing muscle testing. Let me just say, I was doing contact reflex analysis and muscle testing. So it took me a year to feel confident with CRA, that I knew that what I was sensing was correct. But that's going into the organs and glands, and we'll touch on that if we have time.
And just to double check, if I'm muscle testing someone else, let's say with their arm, again, it's in a statement. This product is good for you, or whatever it may be.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So let's go with it because you brought it up. You have a supplement bottle. You put it on your thymus gland, ideally. It's not necessary, but if you want to really be accurate, this is where it goes. Now, good is such a subjective word that you use. That's why I wanted to talk about this now. What I use is this supplement necessary or beneficial? I get really specific when I do this, but that's my thing. Necessary, almost always no supplement is necessary. So go right to benefit, but I'm giving you that as an option. What is necessary? Oxygen, water, right? Necessary, use the word benefit. And then what I do is I've created a scale, just like the map of consciousness, on a scale of 0 to 10. Is this, so I won't recommend a supplement to someone unless the benefit is above a 5. That's just that's what I've created. Completely arbitrary. It's what I've decided. If it's beneficial, and that means it's above a 5, it's going to be a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that's it. So if I get a yes, then you move forward. Then you move forward. How many does this person need then? Okay, so let's say you get a yes. This supplement is good. It serves as a 6. Then you'd want to pulse out per week or per day, however. I do weeks now because some people don't need the same supplement every day. They need one every other day, or 2 per week, or 3. So I get very specific. It's not just yes or no for me. Okay. Did that help? I hope I made sense.
Yes.
Okay, so I had that scale in my head. That's an easy one. You have the map of consciousness in your head. Let's go to, let me see. We want to go into who would want to, if you want to test somebody else, who is desiring to do that? No? Yeah, maybe.
I can think of people.
Okay, because all right, I'll just say that when you're testing somebody else's arm, make sure it's their left arm. Because I think the reason is because it's connected to the side of the heart. I think that's why we use it. Now you could be the right, it doesn't matter, but left is preferred. And then it's not even though we're calling it a muscle test, it's not a strength test. You're just checking for the energy that's going through that arm, through the nervous system. So you just need like a finger. And then you've gotten your answer. Okay. So let's play around with, I know I mentioned food sensitivities. This is another big one. Who has a food sensitivity that they'd like me to focus in on? No one? Yeah?
Mushroom.
Mushrooms. Okay. So Andy has a mushroom. What is it? A sensitivity? Sensitivity.
Yeah.
What happens when you eat it?
I get gout-like symptoms.
Gout. Okay, so that's kidney issue. Okay. How long have you had it for?
10 to 15.
Oh. What happened 10 to 15 years ago?
I started getting gout, and all the other things that contributed to gout went away and became non-issue. That one thing with me.
The mushroom. Okay. All right. So let's see what I get for Andy. We're gonna go, you don't mind? We're gonna dive in. Okay. So what we can do, let's just say, I just want to do something basic for you, though, because I'm gonna get very sophisticated. But what I was thinking for you is hold a mushroom up to your thymus gland, right? In fact, let's do that now. If you want to, I'm gonna freak you guys out if you've never experienced this. Not Janine. Janine is, But if we all, let's all collectively stand up, pretend that we have a mushroom in our hand and pretend, because this is what I did for Janine, right? I just told her she's not moving forward in life or whatever, and just got it just like that. But let's help Andy out. So if we all pretend that we have a mushroom in our hand, we're putting it up to our own thymus gland, and what we're doing is we're tuning into his energy and to see how his body responds to mushrooms. So we're acting as if we are, it's like shape shifting. Okay. So I'm going to pretend I'm you. I have a mushroom. And my system goes back. Okay, good. All right. And I'll give you more information. Did everyone have the same response?
Yes.
Yes, but I saw some images along with it.
Yes, Kathy, what is it?
I saw an image of woods and I got the sense of being like lost in the woods.
Okay. Awesome. Janine, did you get any insight?
No.
Okay. Simone, I think we don't have the audio, but okay. I picked up a sense of guilt. Okay, so whatever, so I wanted you guys to experience this because we can do this for anyone or anything, right? Shape shifting. All right, so now I'm going to continue. Have a seat. I'm gonna continue with this exploration of the mushroom and gout and give you a deeper story. Okay. Oh, myself. All right, so here's what now I'm just going to go into my work, which is source energy technique, and my menus, which are countless, and I will write them down and teach them very soon. But here we go. So we're going to go into, now I'm going to just dialogue with the ethers and give you more information. Andy, accessing Andy, I'm accessing Andy's energy, awareness, I'm aware. We're going to go into asking the mushroom story, where that originates, mushroom sensitivity, the origin of the mushroom sensitivity. Yeah. Okay, so it actually goes all the way down your timeline to when you're around 11 or 12 years old, 12. So now I'm going to ask you what happened at 12, and you don't have to divulge this publicly. It's just, but there was an event that happened at 12 that got re-triggered when you were older. And here we are with the mushroom sensitivity. Let me see what I would do. If I had this mushroom, if I were you, and I wanted to eat mushrooms again. What you can do, okay, I'm trying to think of something like easy, right? So, and this is for everyone too. You have this food sensitivity. Let's what you can do is trying to be thorough here. All right. I'm just going to jump, just for the sake of accuracy. All of our chakras are in alignment. Okay. And now, if you all want to experiment with this, with a different food or a different supplement, we're going to tie this into one of the other lessons that I wanted to touch on, is the 7 chakras. Okay, you can actually hold. Now, don't have to physically have this thing in your hand to test something. You can have the intention in there. My friend, the late Dr. Fred Richards, would he would play around with me when I was in my 20s working at a nutrition store, and we were just getting to know each other. He was always doing magic like this, and he would test me. He tested me to like a silver quarter and a non-silver quarter, and always playing around. But you can write down the word. You can do a double blind test for yourself, like create envelopes, put different things in the envelopes so you can double check your own work, right? Just the word mushroom in an envelope is enough. You don't have to physically have them, where you just have the intention of it here, okay? But now what I'm gonna recommend as a group to practice with are the 7 chakras, and we're all familiar with them. I'm gonna go over them really quick because so boring to me. Okay, so first chakra is over the genital area in the sacrum, and then the second is where the uterus, prostate, bladder, like right below the navel. Third is above the navel. Fourth is heart. Fifth is the throat. Sixth is the third eye. Seventh is the crown of the head. Those are the main ones that you're going to want to tap into. There are more. I'm having a lot of fun. I don't know, with this one, I learned that there's a chakra here where we hold shame and embarrassment, and I'm having a lot of fun adding that in. Okay. Yeah. So what you can do, getting back to the mushroom thing, pretend or hold or whatever, many different ways. If you had a mushroom vial, like a homeopathic vial, hold it in your hand, go over each chakra and see, are you going back or forward? Which ones go back? Which ones go forward, right? So you're getting more information. My guess is, let me just say, I'm gonna tune into Andy, and I'm gonna have my magic invisible mushroom. I'm gonna place it on the 7th chakra. Okay, I go back. 6, I go back. I go back there. I need them going. They're all going back. Yeah, they're all going back. Huh. All right, all 7 or 8 chakras went back. So let's go. So what I would say, and this is important, what I've learned is that food sensitivities are, I'll say 90, I'll say 100, almost exclusively, there's a trauma in the physiology. Like there's a trauma in the autonomic nervous system that created the sensitivity to begin with. Something at 12 was so traumatic that your brain chemistry isn't flowing from left to right, right to left, from certain, from that event. And you can use the emotional freedom technique to clear it. There's a bazillion therapies. I'm trying to think what I would do. Let's go to the 12-year-old in you. Yeah, they're all related to 12. Is it a personal trauma, universal trauma? Chakra, chemical, structural, physical, emotional, spiritual, organ, glands. There's a glands involved in this story. So we're going to go to the top. Is it the hypothalamus? Is it the and that? Thank you for reminding me. We're going to go through that in a second. Hypothalamus, pituitary. It's the pineal gland. Pineal gland, 12 years old. 2, 3. Oh, and now we're in specifically what's called pineal 3. That is active at night. That pineal 3 is a reflex that talks to the pituitary and the hypothalamus. So you got a little triangle going on. That triangle is a miss since then. So your sleep can't be, you must have disruptive sleep, whether you realize, yeah?
Very true.
Yeah. So pineal 3, how we heal pineal 3, the mushroom story at 12, in a pinch. You know what? I would strongly recommend EMDR. Yeah. Okay. You guys know EMDR. EMDR is fabulous therapy. That will help. And then he'll sleep better, be able to digest mushrooms, and begin to or continue to heal the gout. That's a win-win-win. Okay. So this brought me to, so I just want to say the same thing I just said. If you have a food sensitivity, it's a negative response to an event.
So I'm a little confused. So there was an event that affected the pineal gland,
Yes.
like an actual physical event. Like a
When-
loss, what, like a loss or,
Yeah, so the big ones is we all perceive at one point or another as a human being, this event shouldn't be happening. This is a negative event, it shouldn't have happened, and you're carrying around trauma. What that trauma is literally is a disconnect or a lack of flow in the hemispheres. That's the short version of that. So now we want to get to the person to a place where the event doesn't exist anymore, or you have no response to the event, meaning you're not triggered by it, and you can say, so this happened to me. So to be like that, like no response. I have a memory of it, but I'm not getting all emotional about it. That would be the, what you want to work towards. All of us as human beings need to look back in our past and be able to say thank you. If you cannot say thank you to every fucking thing that we've been through, you have forgiveness work to do, and it will hinder your personal joy and presence right now. That's our work.
Right.
Thank you. That's it. So anyway, I could go on another, but so let's go back to, we talked about the chakras, how you can use the chakras. The chakras, I'm going to give you a lot of information if you want this, or, take it or leave it. But I just want to go over, each chakra should go clockwise over as if someone's looking at you, you want to go clockwise. That's healthy and balanced and correct. If it could go in the other direction, right? It could. But I'll leave that for you to investigate. It shouldn't. It should go clockwise. Counterclockwise, it could be there's a negative belief in there. It could otherwise be called a reversal. A reversal literally is going in reverse because the person is broadcasting something that is not true, but they believe it's true. It's their belief. And it usually starts, my perception, my experience is that when people have disease or symptoms, they have a statement in them that starts out, I can't. And I believe, again, this is my interpretation from doing this for so long, I believe that the I can't, God hears that and says, that's crap. That's just crap. It's not true. So we are, excuse my blunt expression, but we are channels of divine truth, or we're supposed to be. When we have a negative belief, we're going to block that channeling, and essentially our bodies will let us know when we're thinking something incorrectly with respect to divine truth. So you could call yourself a walking bullshit meter. If you have a symptom, well, you better start thinking the way God thinks, right? Get your power back. Now, this isn't a one-time event thing. This is how I'm recommending living and being aware as a practice. All right. So I want to give you a couple of points for those who want something a little more advanced. Each reflex, a reflex is basically a focal point of energy that connects to an organ or a gland. So I just want to give you a couple. I don't want to overwhelm anybody, but just want to stick to the basics. But if you want to go deeper with this, we'll just take the thymus gland. I'm just going to pick on it because it's easy. If you want to access the thymus gland, the way that I do it is I will muscle test on a scale of 1 to 10, doing it this way. If you don't use this, and maybe you use this, or maybe you write it down, or if you want to use body pendulum or someone else's arm, you have to get crafty as to your statement. So you could say this reflex is, I'll give you an example. This reflex is at a 0, it's at a 1, at a 2, it's at a 3, It's at a 4. You see my body's moving? It's at a 6. It's at a 7. It's at an 8. It's at a 9. It's at a 10. Okay? That's one of a million ways to test the thymus gland. I'm just giving you a tool. But there are points, like like I said, I'm working on the mouth area right now. It's not a strong area in my body for the present moment, and I'm working on that diligently. But when you check the teeth or the gums, they should pulse out at a 17. These are one of the few reflexes that is not a 10. So I just wanted, for those that want to go deeper, I want to give you accurate information. The energy in the mouth is a 17. You were to check somebody's cerebellum or your own, which is the battery of the brain, it's at the brain stem, the back of the head. It's a 15. It should be a 15 out of 15. Wow. I don't know if you saw my body twitching. It does a lot of crazy things. Okay, so 15 out of 15. The hypothalamus reflex. All right, I'll give them props. So those of you may have seen that Thomas von Olin passed away. Now, this was someone that I worked with very intimately for 2 years to learn contact reflex analysis. He just recently passed away, and he, I haven't spoken to him in 20-something years, and we didn't leave on good terms, and I'm not getting into that. But what I do want to give him props for is that he came up with the hypothalamus reflex, which is a 2-point right here. And that reflex is a 20 out of 20. That's his contribution to CRA. My contribution to TBM was the pineal 3 reflex. I found that one. So, or it came through me, whatever, however you want to. But I was praying for more insight, more knowing, whatever, and that came through pineal 3. And that reflex is here.
Left side.
Yeah. So I've given you the hypothalamus is a 20, the jaw, mouth is a 17, cerebellum is a 15, and lastly, the heart, which you can test here, right at the xiphoid, is a 12 out of 12. Everything else is a 10 out of 10. 10. 10 out of 10. Okay. How are you all doing? You have questions, comments? Good stuff. We have a cat that wants to visit. Okay, so we went over organs. So if you have a food sensitivity, now we've only talked about the mushroom. Does anyone else have a food sensitivity that they want to share, and I could help break that down?
I actually have, so I've been doing wild blueberry juice,
Yeah.
like a little shot glass, and I put my, tinctures in it or whatever. And I brought everything up with me here, and I just pendulum tested it and even body movement, and it came up no in every way. And so now I'm thinking about it after I take it with my little supplements. I was getting a little nauseous or not feeling well, and I'm wondering, it is in fact, I mean, I can show you, but it's Wyman's. It's the wild blueberry juice from Wyman's.
Wild blueberry juice. So let's test it out. Okay. We'll do that
Yep.
first. All right. Let me get all centered and clear. Janine and wild blueberry juice. What is going on? Yeah. Well, my body is going back. Okay. Let's see. It's a 1 out of 10. Now,
Wow.
that's how, okay, we might be making something out of nothing. What I mean is all this means is that there's a disharmony.
Right.
But why is it bad that there's a disharmony? Meaning, what if it's just not beneficial for you today? It's only a 1. The benefit is a 1. Why would you think that you have to have blueberry juice today?
Oh, because I'm trying to be consistent in my being healthy and
But the vibe I'm getting is that you're I'll give you an example. We're talking about harmony. We're talking about a song that you're singing and a song that the blueberry juice is singing, and they're out of key, right? They're out of sync.
right.
They don't, it's a terrible song. Why force the song in this instance? It could be because you've been doing it for so long, your body needs a break. It could be like taking it for months. This is
Mhm.
just arbitrary. You're taking it for months and your body needs a goddamn break from it. Sometimes too much of a good thing becomes problematic. We can actually breathe. I don't want to use breathe. We can drink too much water. Okay. You can drink too much water. Something good for you that's essential could be too much. So that's the vibe I'm getting about it. I have hundreds of supplements and herbs all over this house. That doesn't mean I need them all today, right now.
That makes sense. Okay.
So sometimes that's why I check people like, okay, here's a good example. My friend, I have a pool in the back. My friend comes over and she's like, oh, I'm allergic to the chlorine. And I'm just like, we can work around that. Let's not go in the pool. That's silly. It's just silly. So, and she's an energy worker too. And so what we came up with was I can be in the pool in harmony with the pool for 17 minutes or something. I'm like, all right, now we're getting somewhere. I can stay in harmony with this for 17 minutes. Okay. And then, like just as a baseline, my point is like when people say, and I'm going to use something like coffee. Oh, I should get off coffee. I should get off coffee. Or I should get off chocolate or whatever. Maybe your body can only handle 1 square a week. Maybe you want to be okay with that, but maybe you don't want to eat a bar a day. Same thing with coffee. Maybe my body just wants this much one day and maybe 12 ounces another day. Okay. Because there's nothing static about life. Good.
Yes,
Does that make sense?
absolutely. Yep. I get it.
So I'm sensing that the blueberry thing is just you've done too much and it's nothing wrong with the blueberries. It's nothing wrong with you. You just need to take a little break.
Okay.
Too much of a good thing. Like if I like to buy clothes, but at some point I bought too many clothes and I need to get rid of them and I need to donate them, right? So the balance. And that's the other thing. When you muscle test, sometimes on that scale of 0 to 10, when you're checking the benefit of something, or you could do that for the benefit. You can also, if you're checking, let's say another popular organ that a lot of people should be assessing is their liver, right? You have the heart here, you have the liver here. Testing the liver on a scale of 1 to 10, sometimes for any body part, well, I'm just poking at the liver, it could be above a 10. The heck does that mean? Above a 10. That means that it's it's working extra hard to bring it back to balance. So sometimes a lot of times in a clinical situation, let's say their liver, I check their baseline and their liver is a 7, okay, only a 7, and then I give them milk thistle. That milk thistle is going to drive it up to, let's say, 200% for a while because the body is actively working at restoring itself, and it'll eventually trickle down back to 10 at some point. Right. So when it's above a 10, it usually means it's just actively working at trying to balance itself out. I want to, again, for those of you who want to get more technical, I'm going to go over some points that you want to write down, or maybe I'll give you a sheet later if you need it. But I want to go over the harmonization points. So when I took total body modification, it just sucks that everybody's dying. The founder of total body modification passed away in, I think, 2012. the founder of Contact Reflex Analysis died, I don't know, within the last 5 years. Everyone's died. So I'm happy to keep the tradition going, but my God. And then Tom just passed away. It's like Fred passed away. Anyway, harmonization in total body modification. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 6 harmonization points, which is what Dr. Viktor Frankl taught is if we harmonize these points, you can ingest and you're creating harmony with that food again, whichever one that is, and now you have harmony. So now you can eat that food again, right? So that was his one of his bazillions of contribution to holistic medicine. So for instance, you know, we talked about the shock or any type of trauma that we experience. He found that if you just work on trying to see which of these 6 is out of harmony and rebalancing them, the food becomes a non-issue. And we've seen it time and time again. So I'm going to go over them. It's the pineal gland. So I'm giving you more points. Like let's say you have your mushroom, and then contact the pineal gland, see if your body goes forward or back. The second one is the pituitary gland, which is pinching the bridge of the nose. The third one is the liver. That's a popular one. The gallbladder, which is right next to it. So we have liver, gallbladder.
Liver is right there.
Yeah, gallbladder is
Gallbladder.
right next to it. Even if your gallbladder has been removed, the points still exist. And then the ileocecal valve is another hot spot. So that's, you take the navel and the top of the hip and you draw a line in the center. That's your ileocecal valve reflex. ICV for short.
I'm sorry, yeah, ICV.
Yes, ICV. And then the valve of Houston is on the opposite side. Same thing on the opposite side. The valve of Houston. So these are the 6 hot spots that you want to harmonize if you have a food sensitivity. So we have 15 more minutes, and I want to make sure that everyone feels like they got something out of this, as if that were not possible. But tell me, I want to make sure, because what I could go into next, I just want to get everyone up to speed. So, Kathy, is there something specific you want to check or bring to light, a supplement, a food, any question at all? Oh, I forgot. She had to leave at 1:45. Okay. So, Janine?
Yes. No, I don't have anything additional. This was, for me, it was just this, to be more, get right with God, but to be more direct and, oh my God, I have so many notes. So yeah, so no, I feel a little more confident. Thank you.
Good, good. Simone, if you want to type something in, if there's something specific, you, oh, good, Kathy put the map of consciousness in. And then, do you have anything specific? You feel served? Do you feel like you got enough tools? Okay, so let's see where we want to go from here. I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover. That's the main. All right, so now it's about, oh, she wrote nothing specific with food. Okay. All right, Simone, you're the best. All right, so we have a little more time. I just want to feel into what I want to cover more specifically. So, and ask the universe, what does the class need at this point? More foods. Ah, confidence. That's what I'm- All right. All right, give me, I'm sorry, I am out of water. 1 second. All right, so confidence. Confidence comes with taking small steps. We build self-esteem and confidence with small steps. I mean, you're getting me after 2+ decades of helping people, and well, let's be honest. I live and breathe this work. I love it. So I get pretty crazy about it. Like Saturday morning, like it doesn't stop. Um, but get confident in what you want confidence about, like what you know, like how do you want to use this now? How do you want to use this stuff? I think what helps with confidence is creating a menu. That would be the next step, with taking this information, writing it all down in a concise, almost like an index card or a poster, where you can, you know, when you go into, maybe you've had it in your own medical practice, or you've been into an office that has charts on the walls. I'm creating my own chart right now, just printing stuff off the printer and putting it on a big poster board so I can reference things a lot quicker if I need to. Do something like that. That'll build confidence, and that will be your accountability when you're when you're doing, when you're checking in with yourself. So for instance, you could put on there, I am, let me talk about programming. When you're doing this, you're starting to program yourself. And I think it's something that, you know, we're all programmed, whether we realize it or not. But doing this type of work, you'll program yourself that you can actually write down on your chart that you're going to create after today for accountability. Number one is I am testable, and I am 100% accurate in my muscle testing. That could be a statement that you muscle test the truth of that statement before you begin. Let's, okay? So that's one way of doing it. You gotta do, create a fail-safe system for yourself that's personal. And that's why I'm kind of stuck at this point, because it's got to be your experience and your knowing. But does that help make the statement? So what I created on my menu for when I learned total body modification, because that's what he said, that's what the teacher said, is you got all this, now you got to create a menu. And he said, only put on that menu what you're comfortable with. If you're working with a patient in an office and their arm goes down and you look at the menu and it's something you don't know how to address, don't do that. Because then it's like it's so open-ended. So put things on there that you're comfortable with, that you can strengthen. So what I did on my menu is I had in the right corner the word finish, or finished. So when that showed, I knew I was done with that person for today. They were done, I was done. That was all that was going to happen today. I do that even today. And I'll ask, finished, and I'll muscle test it. And then I know I have completely helped them in as much as I can in this moment, and we are done. So that creates confidence because I have finished there. I know that's all I can do. That's all I can do. Right? So create your own system. So for you, Andy, put down this, mushrooms. Create a scale, 0 to 10. Where you can literally grab your finger and scan over that scale and see when your body goes back or forward, and start to have a relationship with this and work with it until you two get in harmony. That's just an example. There is no, I mean, we are allowed to be creative with this work, and I'm very creative. So give yourself permission to get creative and do what works for you. Let me just share with you, because we want to talk about, like, food. I know is a big thing. I'm a nutritionist. We're talking about muscle testing. I mentioned supplements. You can pick up any bottle of supplement and see if your body goes forward or back, and then ask other statements to get more specific about them. You can also be in a situation where you're going out to eat and you're like, oh, there's not going to have any food. There's not going to have to be anything on the menu or at the party that I can eat. What am I going to do? You know, you could be in a situation like that and prepare ahead of time. One of the things that I have found, and I'm not talking about severe food allergies or anything, but what I have found is staying present with the meal allows for optimal digestion. Most of us, when we're eating, it's fast, it's in front of a TV, it's talking to somebody, it's whatever, and that is going to change your digestive system. But if you can stay present with each bite, presence, the word presence is the be all end all. Because that's what the word presence implies to me: total and absolute oneness and total and absolute power. The present moment is like, the Holy Grail, right? Eckhart Tolle teaches about that. But who the heck stays present long enough to finish a meal? So anyway, that's something you can work on. I think we're good for today. Let me know. Allow this to digest. It's a lot of information. It does take practice, but it can be done. You are more powerful than you realize. So here are some tools, and here are some tricks to empower yourself even further. And I think it's a lot of fun, and I'm here to help you. And just have fun with it, and let me know when you get stuck with it or how I can keep you going. Okay?
Great.
Good? Good. You're welcome. Everyone good?
Yes.
Good. Good. All right. Well, I'm going to close up. I'm trying to think. I did have, it's pointless, but I did bring my vials from my office, food vials, but I gave you other tools to do instead. Just holding something in mind is sufficient enough. And then Janine, you may want to do the double blind test. That's pretty powerful.
Do I know that?
Double blind, like write something that you're,
and put it in the envelope.
Put it in an envelope, make another envelope, make a bunch of envelopes, and see how your body responds to them. And you have no idea what's in those envelopes.
Got it.
Pretty cool. All right. Thank you so much for attending. And I'm here if you need anything else. Stay tuned for more energy medicine classes. Like as soon as next week, I'm going to get into some specific stuff with my actual full encompassed healing technique, and probably going to be doing podcasts and having people come on live to do readings and all that fun stuff. But anyway, have a lovely weekend, and
Thank you for your time.
you're very welcome. Thank you for attending and being a part of this. This was so much fun.
Excellent.
Bye. Bye. I'll give you the recording. Anyone can get a recording of it.
Okay.